Hello Internet, my name is the Golden Stalfos, and today we're going to talk about the worst arc in One Piece. In fact, it's the only arc in One Piece that I would say is truly bad. Several others have problems, they don't really shine as much as the ones they're put next to, or they drag on too long and you just want to get to the point, or whatever. But this arc is actually bad, on several levels for several reasons. I don't think I need to say it, but it's the Foxy Pirate arc, also sometimes referred to as Long Ring, Long Land arc. God, that is a mouthful. However, to be perfectly fair, the part of the arc that takes place on the island is fine. It's whatever. It's just another little pit stop island they go to, and then they run into the Foxy Pirates, and then it's all just like, oh shit. So the first major problem with this arc is Foxy, head of the Foxy Pirates. Manga readers may not hate him as much as anime watchers, but my god, is he an annoying character. Now see, Oda has this thing he does where he unfairly idolizes Toriyama and thinks that the bad, dumb things that he did will somehow make his manga better, and so he puts in gag characters. And I get it. Toriyama had tons of gag characters all throughout his story, and sometimes it really worked. Who doesn't love a good Pilaf getting his butt kicked sequence, But there's a problem. First of all, Toriyama and Oda are very different authors with very different strengths. And second of all, a gag is only funny the first time. And I'm not joking or exaggerating at all. A gag, no matter how good it is, will not be funny if you've seen it before. And if, for example, you see that gag 47 times in one episode, it goes from funny to not funny to boring to repetitive to annoying to oh my god, please kill me, what is wrong with you? And there are several characters throughout One Piece that have this kind of problem, right? But most of them don't overstay their welcome as much as Foxy does, right? Bucky the Clown is introduced as a gag character, but his arc lasts, 6 chapters? It's nothing. Okay, it's a little longer than 6 chapters, but it's not that long. And he doesn't get that much time to be annoying, and he does get a solid fight. And this early on in the story, it's a fight that makes sense for Luffy, right? He's fighting someone else who has a power similar to his, and it's a fight that takes a lot of work and coordination, and you have to work around each other's powers, and it's interesting. However, Foxy is inarguably just as weak as Buggy, probably weaker, and his power is even more stupid and less interesting, and also really easily avoidable, at least from the way it's depicted. And yet he just gets to stay on screen for so goddamn long. Ugh. And we'll probably never see Foxy come back. Hopefully. Please, God. Hopefully. Whereas we have seen characters like Buggy or Mr. 3 or Mr. 2 come back. And while yes, those are joke characters, they were in the broader context of a story that had other stuff going on, and their joke wasn't front and center the whole time, so it could be ignored. Right, when you're reading or watching through Impel Down, sure, Buggy gets a decent amount of screen time, but there's so much more important shit going on that you don't care what Buggy is doing, and it doesn't bother you. However, in the Foxy Pirate arc, Foxy gets all the screen time, and he's the only important thing happening, and it's just brain-curdling. The second huge problem with this arc is that it does the opposite of what it was supposed to do. The basic idea behind the Davy Back games is it's a pirate competition, and you have to compete, and whoever wins gets crew members from the other team. And in basic concept, that's pretty cool, and it really allows for a lot of room with reinforcing the bonds between crewmates, which is an important theme in, One Piece. And I believe that the reason this was introduced here is because the very next arc is all about the bond between crewmates and what can cause that to fall apart and how hard crew members should work to keep those bonds and so forth. And it's a very powerful and important arc. However, introducing this concept to set that up actually ends up undermining that later story. Now, I've already spent a lot of time talking about Robin's I want to live moment and why I think it is possibly the most important emotional moment in One Piece. But to sum up, prior to Robin saying that, we had no reason to believe that she cared about the crew. She joined Luffy only because she had nowhere else to go after Alabasta. And there was never really a point where they resolved the fact that she used to be their enemy. They just kind of accepted it because Luffy accepted it and can't go against Captain's orders. And during Skypiea, she had some interaction with the rest of the crew, but not a ton. Certainly not enough to make her feel like a part of the crew the way we felt about everyone else. You know, at the beginning of Water 7, we find out that Robin has disappeared and that the Going Merry can't be repaired. And we are much more sad about the ship than we are about Robin. Not only are we more sad about that, the crew is more sad about that. Right? One of the most tragic and gut-wrenching scenes in the entire series happens because of that conflict. Meanwhile, Robin is still missing and no one talks about it. And sure, on the way to Enies lobby, we figure out that it's probably a rescue mission, but it could just as easily be about getting revenge, or finishing what they started with the CP9 people, or any number of things. They kind of just want to get answers from Robin because they haven't had a chance to ask her about any of the stuff that's happened. So that moment on top of the tower when they affirm her connection to the crew and the fact that she can't be separated from them even at the cost of going to war with the world government, that's powerful shit. Incredibly powerful shit, specifically because of how little of a connection we thought she had to the crew. But the Davy Back games already tried to play that card early, and thus undercut that moment instead of reinforcing it. To anyone who wants the full emotional impact of One Piece, I strongly recommend skipping this arc because it dramatically undercuts one of the best emotional moments of the series. You can watch Navarone instead. Navarone is a filler arc that is 1,000 times better than this and properly characterizes everyone and is brilliant. And it also takes place just between Skypiea and Water 7. So watch the Navarone arc instead, you know, the G6 stuff, and completely forget about Long Ring, Long Land, because it should be forgotten. Also, for anyone who hasn't seen the anime and just goes through the manga, I recommend you watch some of the anime-only filler. Some of it is actually really good. My personal favorites are probably Navarone, the Pumpkin Pirates, which BTW, the Pumpkin Pirates takes place right after Alabasta, but before Skypiea. Actually, that's about it. Most of the other filler is kind of forgettable. Some people like the filler right before they enter the Grand Line with the dragon. And I don't care for that one too much. Oh, but you should actually watch the filler that happens in Logtown, because that's actually canon. Oda just couldn't fit it into the manga because he wanted to hit the Grand Line by chapter 100, and so things like how Usopp got his goggles and all that were skipped in the manga, but they were supposed to be there, so that is canonical. Also, you should really watch that chapter because the main antagonist of that episode is a guy called Daddy the Father, whose entire character trait is that he's a gunslinging dad. So, peak One Piece, really. But yeah, any of that stuff would be better than watching or reading the Foxy Pirate arc. Skip it. It's bad. It's bad for the characters. It's bad for the plot. It's bad for your health. Just don't do it. Alright, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next life. Laters. Alright, thank you guys for watching that video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that dumb YouTube stuff. Follow me on all my other social media stuff. I got Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and I have a Patreon, if and only if you have money to burn. And if you do have money to burn, maybe consider donating to an actual charity instead. There are always a few linked in my description, just in case. I mean, I do appreciate it, but there's probably people who can use it more than me. Me and my girlfriend play video games she's never played before on twitch.tv/thegoldenStalfos every Saturday, sometime after 6 p.m. US Mountain Time. And also I sometimes use that channel to do challenge runs and game creation tutorials. So if you're into any of that, please check that out. Also, if you check out our streams and you like the performance that my girlfriend puts on, she streams by herself on her own channel called Awesome Possum Pie. And be sure to leave positive comments down below for my girlfriend who volunteered to edit my videos for free because she's awesome. And yeah, thanks so much for all of your support. And thanks again for watching.